Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming from, and the internet, wherever you are. Welcome back, Standard again to back again to the root of today. It's one-on-one live coverage that we have just at the G Castle a little bit. But always we have the mission to accomplish, and already the mission is ongoing. Talk about we are proceeding with the vulnerables. Talk about we have much of the materials, and we are receiving materials now and again. Talk about already we have hey, how are you, man? I'm fine. Everything is good. So we have a bed for the brother and the sister. Talk about the young boy and the sister whom they were just sleeping down, and already we have the bed. And yesterday I had purchased a mattress, so already we have a bed for them here. And also we have, yesterday we had 5 iron sheets, so today we have 15. So already we have 20 iron sheets already at our position right now, to make sure that we're going to be commencing the construction of the house with an immediate effect. So it's a movement that we're just doing to make sure that we are equipping this kind of the people more meticulous. So the guy has to be paid because he has been part of the program to make it happen. Iko fiti? Thank you. So guys, that is the way forward, and also we have much of the things already to the collection. We have 2 beds, we have 2 mattresses, we have 20 iron sheets, and we have some clothes, and we are eyeing forward now to start the structure, whereby I think by tomorrow or today in the evening I'm going to be taking one of the masons here to go and make sure that you're going to be getting the dimensions of such kind of how we talked about. It's going to be 20 iron sheets. If you're going to be adding them for the gutter, or we can call it like a gutter, it's going to be so successful from tomorrow. So we're going to be checking on how we're going to be starting it and commencing it. And already I'm going to be calling this kind of the area MCA also to talk about we have been getting this and this, so as you can just make sure that other things are going to be coming in. So already we're going to be purchasing much of the books also, and we are eyeing forward now for the mason or the person who's going to be constructing the house, as you're going to be getting the dimension. I said about I'm going to be taking care of the trees. I'll be the one who will be bearable for the trees, and also the transport to that sector. I'll be just bearable for that one, because now the truck has to get onto the system by today and tomorrow. So as you can just make sure that everything is just coming to you live. So guys, that is the way we're going to be making it happen, because we're going to be needing much of the things to happen each and every kind of the time, because we have the responsibility to keep this kind of the vulnerables alive, and also supporting them in whatever small we're going to be having. We are moving, we are not stuck. I had much of the people talking about, oh, let's see if it will ever happen, if Gintu will just collect money for the iron sheet here. Now we have the iron sheets already, and Trish Gintu has them, and we can talk about the most thing is the mud. We shall just get there, the mud, and we shall just smear the house more probably. So the good thing is we are moving. We are not stuck at a position, and that is the best way for us to move, because I've seen, even whenever I'm just going to purchase this kind of the things, I always talk to them, and I ever tell them that, okay, this kind of the things are going to be to the vulnerable, so they have to cut cost in terms of the cost of this kind of the stuffs that we are buying, so as they can just understand that even we are supporting, even them sometimes they can support. I know how to trigger and make sure that they're going to be understanding my probability of understanding that this kind of the thing going to be getting to much of the people who are vulnerable in the society. So even them, they're going to be conjunction to us, so as can just make it happen. So at that kind of the far point, I can say that we are at a position, and up to that kind of the moment, I know the people are talking about, oh, Gintu are going to be making this one, are going to be making this one here, and we're going to be making it happen. Yesterday I saw one of the mongoose here a little bit talking about, oh, Gintu is married. I don't know who told you that I've married your wife. Who told you that you had a wife? And you're just lying to much of the people outside here talking about ABCD. I'm not bothered with such kind of the small boys. So they're just lunatic, psychopath people who cannot even give me much of the headache, because they're talking about, oh, we are going to be having, the charity has to continue. And for them, let them start it. Because if they think about, they can make a change, and they can make something to have a change. Because right now it's Maro and Gintu who can just make this kind of the changes outside here. And much of the people can make it happen. Because also I talk about in terms of donation, it doesn't matter that who is receiving the donation, who is not receiving the donation, and nobody is forcing anybody, because I'm not supporting that, hey, you specifically bring me money, or you specifically bring me money here, or no. we are making things to have a change, in whereby we are tangling to have every kind of the position, each and every kind of the person who is willingly talking about you can just make a change, and you can make it. Not in a way that we are talking about, oh, Gintu is this way, Gintu is that way, because you understand that the Gintu is collecting money and it's going to be bearable. It's going to be there. You can see what we are doing automatically. And that is the best way we're going to be doing it. And to the real connection, because also the county going to be chopping in, talk about in terms of helping the sanitary needs, in terms of awareness. So it's something that we have lured too much of the people to do it. But I see much of the mongoose outside here, they think about now Gintu and Mara, the biggest people, are just doing the money east, west, and south. That is the capability that we are able to do. And that specific component I can talk about, if it comes to begging for this kind of the vulnerable, we are bearable for that one. And whoever going to be talking about A, B, C, D, they are not in such kind of a thing, or they have not got it good that Gintu is making this as a change, because they cannot make it also, because it's one of the good calls that you can make, because not everybody is capable of doing what Gintu can do, and Gintu is not capable to do what you are doing. That is the best thing that most of the people should understand, each and every kind of the parties, so they can just come to a real tanganization of the start. And also, if you're going to be starting the house, it's going to be so meticulous, it's going to be so fabricative, it's going to be so gorgeous at kind of where we're going to be setting it up. Much of the people are waiting to understand that, oh, how is it going to be happening? Is it going to be happening this way? Which kind of the house? We have already said it's going to be looking like this kind of the house here, and it's going to be cemented at the floor. So as this kind of the children should be a good place, because right now we can say that, okay, Gintu have collected much of the stuff, like the beds. So we have the beds already, and talk about the boy and the sister are the people who can just talk about, I can get them the bed even right now, and a mattress, and some of the two essential stuffs that we can just give to them so they can just continue. But we want to do it as a whole zone. Talk about right now, whenever we talk about we're going to be getting to this kind of the people, we are still collecting materials, we are still collecting much of the stuffs here, so we can just make sure that this kind of the people are making it happen. And at that kind of an artifact, I say that that is the movement we're going to be doing. Let this kind of the people are just jealousy that, oh, Gintu is collecting money, Gintu is collecting. Who has denied anybody to go and shoot a video? It's something like a call or a responsibility. Everybody has a camera. Everybody has a mouth to talk. Everybody knows that this kind of the family, it's vulnerable. Why can't you go there and shoot a video and emphasize and lure and talk about, plead to the people who are just watching you that, hey, please, I'm begging you, can we help this kind of the person? Or in terms of that one. So people, whenever we are doing it, they think about a very small thing that we are just doing, and they're just jealous about Gintu is collecting money for this kind of the people. They'll have to die. Let them die. If they're going to be taking it to the bank, let them take it to the bank, because we are not going to be intimidated or to be lured in a way that, okay, this kind of the stuffs have happened this way, this kind of the stuffs have happened this way. No, that is the moment that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be making it happen. Whoever says or whoever not say, because we are going with the people. And imagine the biggest scandal, whereby much of the people are talking about it's going to be like a scandal or whatever, it's whereby a person who is inciting has never even got even a 1 bob, even 5 bob, even $10, even $1 only, to talk about Gintu, I've sent you $1 or I've sent you $2, so they can just make sure that you are bringing this kind of the stuff to another generation. But the people are just big mouth, and they're talking bad and shit east and south, and talking about, oh, Gintu is this one, the other, and there are people who are still in a stage whereby they need help also. But you can understand, that's how human beings are, and we understand that's the nature, because after all, everything, they'll just talk about, oh, why is it happening? Why me? Why not you? Why is Gintu only? Why not you? So if you reach at that kind of the position, you are at a longer position to go. Or we can call it, you are at a wronger way to go, because you will be just jealous about others. Do you understand that there are people like, even me, much of the people have been coming through much of the things, east, west, and south. Talk about, for you to see somebody doing something, you can talk about, oh, it's something that you started today. No, it's something that it has been into the blood platform doing it. Because when I was giving much of the greens, even right now, guys, I'm speaking that way. I'm looking for a boy who will be just doing much of the jobs at home here, and talk about, you're going to be starting the G Castle foundation agriculture. Talk about it's going to be called the G agriculture that's going to be coming right now and going to be developing immediately with an immediate effect, because this whole of this kind of the space, it's for the G castle, and they're going to be starting here the G agriculture, and they're going to be making sure that the G castle are going to be producing as many food as possible, and it will be just getting out to much of the people who are in need. So whoever thinks about we are sleeping, we are not sleeping. We are thinking, what about tomorrow? Not today. That's why I said that we should have a permanent solution. Not that, oh, we have only a bed, let's go and put a bed there, then the house is grass attached, then it's going to be raining, so what have we done? So that's the artifact I came out and talked about. We can buy iron sheets and we can just build the house so as it can be a permanent solution. Not that I ever been producing something called a short-term charity, but at this point I'm going to be starting a long-term charity in terms of making sure that the iron sheets we're going to be building there. I was just taking the responsibility. I take a bed there, I give to this kind of the vulnerable, I just vanish. But now I'm going to be taking the responsibility, a full responsibility of the permanent vulnerable charity. And that is where we are just heading. For the people who are just feeling bad, feeling that, oh, Gintu is making this kind of the things to come out, I'm very, very sorry about that one, because they'll ever be feeling sorry, because they will ever be checking that Gintu is progressing. Today we have the 15 iron sheets already. Yesterday we had 5. So we are moving. If we're going to be getting another bed, we're going to be getting another mattress, because that village, in short, let me say it this way, that village is suffering from beddings. That's what I can say. And to the real fact of the day, all the children that I was talking to them, they were talking about if I can get a mattress, I'm sleeping down. There are some of the bed bugs. I talk about we are sleeping down and whatever, such kind of the scenario. So when we are talking about this kind of the village, need a much of the help in terms of bedding, it's something which is characteristically very nice if you can just chip in and make a change. Even if it's a mattress, you understand that I said it, that even me, once upon a time, I was being sponsored in one of the child fund programs that were just at this kind of the area, and I was being given a mattress, food and whatever. So at that kind of the point, I said that I don't know even where that kind of the sponsor went. I don't know, but I know the name, but I have never found him in any social media. I don't know if he died, or I don't know if she was a she, because we were not allowed to be told who was he and who was she and where does she live, where does he live. No, we are not told. So that artifact I said that I was ever promoted in a way that even me, whenever I'm coming out, I can say that I can promote other people the way I was being promoted. And we can use the same system, because the system is the same. If the money is coming from the US, and the same to the child fund program, the money is coming from the US, where is the difference? Already what we need here is a transaction. And that's why you talk about much of the people felt bad when I was doing the charity, when I was giving much of the young ladies here with sanitary needs. Maro went ahead and blocked my Western Union and talked about we are receiving much of the money and we are mobilizing much of the people in the village, so as we're never going to be coming from Argentina, we can attack him. So in terms of that one, I can talk about its lack of mind and lack of sense in terms of they are just talking about why this kind of the young boys making a change where we cannot make that one, because we are relying on the people's support, and that's why I said that we're going to be supporting this kind of the people, we're going to be begging for this kind of the people, and we make it happen. At that kind of an artifact, I can say that we are moving. There's no backward. We are moving ahead. Tomorrow we're going to be getting there, so I can just measure and get the measurement of the small house that we're going to be. Is going to be like a semi-permanent, and we're going to be getting the dimensions and also starting the building of that kind of the small house for these people or these children who are vulnerable. And when we just support them, even the orphans, we're going to be supporting them and giving them clothing, essential stuffs, giving them food. I'm going to be having one sack full of maize, and we're going to be taking it to that village, and that is the courtesy from me. Not anybody talked about going to be doing it. I have so many maize that I just a bulk of sacks here that I just harvested from here. You understand, I'm not not dealing with GMO. You understand that I planted here maize with one of the young boy called Mayani, and I told him that I'm going to be harvesting so much bags than you. And he was telling me that, oh, and you understand whenever I talk about I'm using manure, pure manure, there's no much of the fertilizer. And that is the maize that we're going to be taking to this kind of the people, which is free from talk about GMO, and that is the fact that we're going to be coming out from this kind of an artifact. Keep it tuned, keep it locked. We're going to be coming back from this kind of the position. If you're first subscribing to this kind of the channel, thank you very much for being tuned and locked in, because we're going to be making it happen, because today is today, and that's why I say tomorrow is another day. I plead to every end of the people who have been supporting and making it happen, because if it could not be you, we could have not reached this kind of the brim point we are moving. And that is the honest and respect to you and the dignity coming to you, that you are making something of the wonders coming out from this position. At fact, the G Castle continues as normal. We are getting sun inside there, so you can just see what's really popping out as everything is just coming out more successful. At this kind of the point, keep it tuned. Coming back in a short while, the same channel, the same area, as we're going to be tanganizing and talking about what we're going to be handling at this moment right now. Guys, we are back to the G Castle and continue with much of the vibing to understand how every kind of the continuity, because this is the fantastic module that we are ever getting forward. Talk about the interior design, and the G Castle is in the interior design for its own finishing point of the gypsum board. And I think much of the people, whenever they're going to be talking about, oh, how it's going to be coming it out here. And I like about the tools and equipment they're just using here. The machines are automatic and they are rechargeable. But we are having much of the problems in terms of electricity a little bit. And due to unconditional circumstances, I showed you when this kind of, how do we call it? A transformer was being taken out from the poles there, so as it should be maintained at that kind of the moment. So right now we are just operating under blackouts, and that's why some of the problems like charging this kind of the batteries here. I don't know if this one is still working. Fantastic. So this is the battery. It's a 24 voltage here, and it has a reverse gear and a forward gear. Fantastic. So it's the one that's used in terms of scrutinizing and screwing much of the screws onto the board set to make sure that everything's so fantastic. So we are moving. Right now the house looks very dirty and operational. As you can just check it here, and they are now skimming. Talking about the first coat skimming here to make sure that everything is now operating to be uniform. So as they can just put the downer board, so as it can just be now a good way for it to go. So you can now see this kind of a small stuff here. It's gonna be, we can call it a small flower that they have just already put it here. So it's just remaining a little bit of the stuffs to be put at the downer stuffs here, so as it can just be a uniform here. So I think about just rectifying much of the stuffs here to make it happen, and everything is just moving more meticulous and more fantastic here. So as far as everything is in concern, I don't know the tools and equipment they are using in terms of skimming here. You can see they are different. So they are sectioned here. Talk about their hand-working people to make sure that they're just covering. How can we call it, this one here? How do you call this one? Fiber tape. Fiber tape. So they're the ones who are just dealing with the fiber tape, and also making sure that that's a fiber tape that is just placed there, and they have just to put a coat that will just put that kind of a fiber tape to be anonymous out. So at that kind of the position, we have the second team which is dealing with the designs to make sure that everything is possible. So this is a very beautiful design that's going to be coming here also, and we have another design at this kind of the corner that's going to be coming inside to come and attach here. So this kind of the design is just having an L. This is an L that's created here. This an L will be having a running lights. And we have the longer one. This is an L again that's just running up to this kind of the point and coming to have the corner there. So it's one of the biggest running lights that will be just placed here, because you understand they will be put talk about at the downer level of this kind of the L here. So we are creating here something called GC, which is at the G castle at this kind of the far end, because we have the center of this kind of the area here. So we are trying to make it happen. This is the second team of the design. Now we have the third team that is dealing with the scheming, to make sure that they're just making sure that everything is coated very smartly, and also we have a uniform coat of the gypsum or the skimming way they are just handling here. So those are the three teams that are operating. The fourth team is security. We have the security tight to make sure that they are secured here, and nobody can just bring much of the compliment or bring some of the harm to them, because the security is very tight here. The fifth team, it's dealing with, talk about the finishing point of the outside here. We have somebody called Danny Trejo, who is at this kind of the level to make sure that the fish pond is under maintenance, and also finishing up this kind of the cobrarization of the upper section there. So those are the fifth teams that are just handling here to make sure that everything is so possible and coming out very, very meticulous. So when we get in, I think I've just introduced everybody. So we are just heading to see each kind of the team, who is heading each end of the team, so as they can just understand what's really popping out. Let's start with Mr. Jamaican.
Yes, man.
We have a Jamaican Rastafari.
Jumbo, jumbo.
Conquer the Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, conquer the Hisrasia. Dread the matter. Exactly. How is everything, bro?
Everything is fine here. We are just skimming the board.
Okay.
Make it
Make it uniform.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you are the one heading the skimming team.
Yeah, the skimming team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To make sure that everything is coming out more meticulous.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you see how the work is going, or the work is zigzag a little bit?
The work is going well. We are just continuing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything is so fantastic. Continue the work, because we deal with the work of per day. Talk about that now. You are here. Hi everything, man.
Everything is fine?
Everything is fine?
Yeah.
So today, where are we heading to, and how are we getting this kind of the position, and what's really going to be coming out?
Today, we are going to finish to write the name G Castle.
G Castle.
The G and the C.
And the G and the C.
So that we can move to another room.
Okay.
This room is, we are going to leave for
The schemers. Okay.
Yeah.
So by tomorrow, no, you have not yet. It will have to be skimmed first.
I will come back to fill the down part.
The lower part.
Yeah.
But I thought about, if they have skimmed there, you could have finished there then.
Tomorrow, not today.
Why not today?
The powder, the wet powder, makes this board wet. So that we cannot screw. Yeah.
So it has to dry, then tomorrow now you'll operate there. Exactly. That is the engineering team talking about. They're now the interior designers here, and we're gonna be finishing here. And I've already got much of the guy called about the skimming people of the wall. You understand? There's two types of skimming. We have the skimming of the gypsum, and also we have the skimming of the wall. They use different powders in terms of skimming, because this one is called the gyprop. There's another one that's gonna be called, I don't know what, the skimming coat or something like that one. So they're going to be using it there. So that kind of the efforts of the manner, we have to understand that they're so big different. But even them, they can just do the skimming, but it's a little bit different from the people who are just doing for the wall, because they understand. Everybody understands the class you are dealing with, that kind of the pathway. So the other guys, they're just making sure that they are just getting... Okay, yeah, you just do your man. Yeah. So they're just filling up the spaces to make sure that they're going to be easing the work of the schemers. Whenever they're going to be passing, it will be very easy for them to come and pass, because it will not be having much of the gaps. That way you can just see it at this kind of the position. So they have already sealed here. Now whenever the schemers are coming, they're going to be skimming the outer layer, because it will have dried a little bit there. So it's right now, I've just known that whenever you are just applying this kind of the scheme, it makes the board a little bit wet and also heavy. So at that kind of the time, I understand understand that that's why it will just sleep. So tomorrow they'll just handle much of the things. And also we have the sixth team that I have not yet recognized here. The sixth team is electrical team. But they have just gone because they're always here to make sure that their wiring it's not tampered for, and also to give the direction whenever they're just doing their own flower and much of their own interior design. Talk about how they're just measuring and everything. They should make sure that they're not tampering with the wires, that they're just here to make sure that everything gonna be coming out more successful and more fantastic, because every wire should be operated and be outside to make sure it will not bring much of the confusion at the end of now the finishing point of installation of the electrical appliances like the bulbs and much more. So I think is now rectifying, because it's part of them. Yeah, is now rectifying. So right now you can now see how the G castle is looking like. Somehow different, a little bit here, and much of the people have to understand that this is the movement that they're just doing here to make sure that the G castle is moving. I understand not everybody will ever be happy talking about Gintu is just finishing up or whatever, because it has been a long way. Even much of the people are going to be singing, it has been a long way where we began. Right now we are just moving to make sure that we are moving at a very good pace, and that is the movement we're just doing. Because as far as everything is concerned, as far as the human being are put in the circle and you are in the same ecosystem, so you will understand that not everybody will be ever happy talking about what Gintu is doing at this kind of the particular moment, but we are struggling to make it happen, because tomorrow is tomorrow and today is today. That's why we say tomorrow is another day at that kind of the position one-on-one. So it's trying to cut to make sure that it's becoming a levelized, because they're using much of the tools here, and so meticulous here. It's like a knife here. Oh, the gypsum is a very delicate. Soft and delicate. Eh? Very soft and delicate. So you should make sure that whatever you're just doing here, you are very punctual, knowledgeable, and skilled at the same time to operate with the gypsum, because not everybody will operate with the gypsum, because it's delicate. You can misuse the boards, and you can find that this kind of the whole room, it's more of the pieces, and you can just talk about, hey, why is so many pieces here, why ABCD, and it's because of mismanagement coming from that kind of the grassroots there, and that's why they're just handling it. Everything is just very fantastic here. So the Gintu is now gonna be operating from this kind of the side here, and you can now see how it's just reflecting here, the GINTU. Fantastic. And here we're going to be having the GC, a new trend, a new module of trending of the new designs, because every kind of the room has its own design to make sure that we are moving very fantastic here. So guys, that is the way forward we are just doing here, and I think it's the best way of us to move from one position to another to make it happen. So as far as everything is concerned, let me get a little bit of a seat here so I can just elaborate what's really coming out from this kind of the position. I know by this kind of the time there are people who are feeling bad and feeling like they have to talk about, oh, Gintu gonna be whatever and whatever, because I saw this kind of the information that's going to be coming out to facilitate much of the lurement, which is not a very good thing for right now, what's going to be coming out, because they have to formulate and talk very bad, because if a person has to talk about you, I am so important to their lives right now, and they have to talk about Gintu ABCD, because they understand if Gintu has to post, they have a content, you understand, and that's why I'm ever doing it, because there are much of the people who think about everything is ABCD, but I am one of they're using Gintu indirect, but they don't know that I'm using somebody directly, and they use Gintu indirect, so they're just using the guy one-on-one. You can understand what I mean. So at that kind of the moment, we be back to the ecosystem, talking about what are we going to be doing at each kind of the position, and which kind of the position are we holding to make it happen. So far this kind of the moment, guys, the little report that are going to be coming out today. We have just made much of the shoppings east, west and south here, and the north is where I'm heading, and where I'm just looking forward exactly. So tomorrow morning we're gonna be getting to the grassroots of the village where we're gonna be surprising much of the materials and much more to make sure that everything is coming to you live, which is one-on-one, and supporting much of the people. Alikuiba ni wa kuwekelea uo amemkulia. Oh Asikuiba. How are you?
Fine.
Everything is good? How are you?
Fine.
Everything is good?
Yep.
Hey, you are wearing a uniform. Hey, the uniform is good, Fantastic. So mnaenda kununua mandazi? Yumbu itakukulea. Haya, nakuja basi twende, si ndio? Haya. Nakuja. Nakuja baadaye. Sawa? 100. Baadaye. Sawa? Aenda basi mcheze. Luka aenda mcheze ndakuja. Sawa? So guys, that is the way forward we ever handle much of the matters and make sure that everything is so fantastic here. So I was talking about the mission that we are having because Gintu, I am the project manager, but the mission is the vulnerables. That is what much of the people should understand. In a way that I have seen much of the people tarnishing Gintu's name and talking about, Gintu is this way, Gintu is that way. It's because they understand that they are failures already and they have nothing to do and they have nothing to offer right now, because we have to remove ourselves and get out and talk about what are we going to be doing at this particular moment, at this particular area, or how are we going to be handling this kind of the pogroms east, west and south, so they can just make it one resonant reaction. So at that far point, I'm going to be coming to the straightforward. There are much of the reactors also, whenever they're talking about, I'm going to be reacting upon Gintu, so they think about they're so positive. Whenever you are just doing a reaction, understand that a reaction is a reaction. There's nothing like positivity nor negativity. So you are rectifying. That's why I'm there to be used also with those kind of the reactors. And also, even if there are much of the celebrities, we have to use them also, so you can just make sure that everything is coming out. So don't tell us that, because of we are just doing this one, so we should not do the other one. That is a failure. That's a failure. We have to rectify everything in a condensed manner, and that is the best way for us to approach and the best way for us to move forward. So to this kind of the moment, due to unconditional circumstances that are bifaultively coming across to our attentions of the day, and also bisectional times of the day, is whereby we are whatever we are just doing, some of the people are feeling like, why was it not me who could be doing that kind of the job? And to the real offer and the real way of moving forward is whereby much of the people should recognize themselves. Don't talk about why is Gintu doing this one, why not you? Why can't you also make sure that you are making the achievements that Gintu is doing, so as or the movement Gintu is doing for you also to get to that kind of the position Gintu is. But you are there sitting, relaxing, and talking about what Gintu is doing is something so not understandable or whatever it will be. So I'm gonna be having a little bit of the conversation in a way that we have such kind of the people. They feel like what Gintu is doing is a little bit ABCD, or what other people are doing is a little bit of ABCD. But at the end of the day, at the end of the time, we are doing something called the charity. And that charity, you understand, it will occur to how you are operating with very many people and how are you operating from each and every kind of the position. Right now, we have raised much of the things that people are talking about. We have seen Gintu, you're talking about you're going to be doing much of the charity to much of the people and the vulnerable. Let's see if we will just buy much of the things here. We understand they are not the pocket we need, and they are not part of the system because they are there to watch. Let us make them watch, because they have to be there, watch and see. Will it fail? Will it occur? So right now they're talking about, Gintu right now, he has already bought much of the iron sheet, he has bought much of the bed, much of the mattress, So what are going to be coming out? They're going to be now relaxing and talking about what are we going to be doing at this kind of the moment. That will be their nature. And they will have to move from one position to another. Tell the other people, oh, you understood. Oh, Gintu has bought this one. So they will be promoting us. And the comment section also. I know much of the people are talking about, oh, Gintu, this and that. They never expected it to happen. Because they think about, because they have seen that, oh, this kind of the person is operating this way. The other person is operating this way. They never wanted anybody else apart from Maro to talk about going to be doing the charity, because there's no one else apart from Maro and also a fellow the boy who are doing much of the charities to support this kind of the young generation. What we are just doing is putting the blind ears to them so they can just move. And let me tell much of the people the fact about me. I'm not, because how I grew up, from my history growing, I was never distracted from talk about any kind of the litigation for me not to work. I've never been distracted with people's allegations, accusations. Whether you abuse me, I'm not interested with that one. So let people understand it from the first top, because I've never told much of the people that even if right now you talk about bad about Gintu, I'll greet you. And there's nothing will just offer me not to talk about how things are going to be moving. But people think about, oh, Gintu is this way. Ask much of the people. They know me. Because whenever we found each other and talk about, is this the real Gintu? The people are just calling themselves Marwa supporters. And also Marwa YouTubers who are just leaking the buttocks from behind. Talking about we are just there, the foot soldiers. They understand. Whenever we meet, me and them, they understand that I'm not like the way they thought about I could be. Whenever much of the people, they see me outside there, or they see Gintu in the platform, they talk about, oh, Gintu is having a very good, or Gintu is having ABCD. Gintu is not hand in hand with the Aymaro. But the fact is, when they come to antagonize with Gintu, they understand that I'm different even than how they expected. Because I'm totally different, the way they have to understand. Because whether you accuse me, whether you abuse, whether you beat, whether you do whatever, I'm not distracted not to deliver the information. That's who I am. Because if it could be another person, when the Congrats dad came to my home here and attacked Gintu and talked about shoot Gintu, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, it could be another person, could be told that, oh, leave that kind of the family, it's very omniscience, and talk about it will be just, they will just delete you. It could be something very, very confidential when it comes to the realization of how the terms and conditions come. And to the real fact, I cannot talk about you have just brought me the police or you are going to the litigation, whether you are having much of the intervibing or whatever you will be doing. Talk about you can come and distract Gintu's philanthropic alisbash of the moment. That is a total failure. Let me tell you another thing. When you are just commenting bad and talk about Gintu will just feel bad, I'm very, very sorry, because that is part of the program and YouTube likes that one. Now there is a much of the comment section, because you are so important to that YouTube channel for it to grow and make it happen, because they will have to be there. They'll have to watch so they can just deliver the information back to the center, because they have a center to deliver the information. So under the fact, let me go straight to the point again. Right now we are changing lives and changing each and every kind of the possibilities that we're going to be having. We are the people who will change it. Not that we'll have to depend on only one person or two people who will be also having the team. Talk about not every kind of the video. You understand that people are not having this kind of the good information, whereby they should be told that it depends with the team you are having. Gintu has a very strong team, and appreciate the mothers and talk about the mothers and fathers, and talk about the young generation, talk about the Gen Z generation that is supporting Gintu, so as they can just make it happen. In terms of even Kenya here, we have so many people supporting Gintu also, and they are talking very good in terms of Swahili, and they can just communicate, because much of the people think about, oh, you know, this kind of the thing should be coming from the US only. No, even in Kenya, we have much much of the people who are interested in Kenya, talking about I will just support you to make it happen, because we understand our own culture, norms, and also the standards of living. We have fluctuation of the prices. We have economic hardships here and there. We have each and every kind of the pogroms of each and of the time. But how are we going to be handling such kind of the matters? It's by placing and talk about it, preach about it. So as you can just preach and preach and preach, and people will get it. Even for you to lure somebody, so as you can just understand your point and talk about changing somebody's money. Talk about even the people who are just doing much of the job at my home there. Whenever they're going to be changing my money into theirs, they have to work for it. So we are working for it to be more fantastic. But to the children, we are working for them. We are working for the vulnerables. But there are people who are just understanding that even them, they are part of the program to be helped. But they are there to talk about, oh, you understand, oh, Gintu is doing ABCD, Gintu is doing this one. But at the real sense of the time, they should be coming to the real scientific way of understanding how things are going to be handled, at which kind of the rate should it be handled. And we should not be distracted with people's thoughts and people's comment section, because we understand they have to talk. Even if you be the good person ever, they are haters. Even if you be the baddest person, even the serial killers and whatever, they have lawyers. Whenever you go to the court, you find that the lawyers are there to talk about this kind of our client has not committed anything, is not guilty of it. But whenever you come to the real conscience of the moment outside here, you find that the person who is more in need than even the people who are just supporting is the person who is raising the hand, talk about, oh, Gintu is doing ABCD. It's because of the jealousy of the highest order. But we will not be distracted with that kind of the things that will be coming out because of this kind of the morons or the post-morons of the moment. So at that kind of an artifact, we have demagogues that always have to talk about what's going to be coming, because they're just defaultively talking about what are we going to be talking about Gintu and what are we going to be doing this. So they'll just be wondering, because we are planning everything and we're going to be finishing up everything and winding up everything to make sure that we're going to be having the occasion that we're going to be disbursing much of the staffs, which are the essential staffs, to this kind of the generation, talk about this kind of the community that is in need. Because right now we are still moving. If you're going to be supporting, and make sure that you're going to be supporting each and again over the time, so you can just support this kind of the vulnerable poor families, so that they can just come out and make it happen. Here we go, here we put ourselves, and here we move from one position to another, as we say, tanglement, and keep it tuned, keep it locked, because tomorrow is another day. You can support in whatever you have. $1, $2, $3, because we want to change the lives of the young generation. As they're going to be growing up, they will understand that there are people who stood with us. As they will be growing, they'll understand that this point, at this moment, I was helped. Even me, whenever I grow up, I want to be this way. You have to mentor young generation. You have to mentor young minds in a way that they'll see that we were interested in that kind of the moment. And they'll just grow knowing I was helped. Even me, one day, I will help other people. Help today, you will be helped tomorrow. As we grow, what are we doing? What are we just conclusively coming out from? We have to understand the program. We have to understand the way we gonna be handling this kind of the matters, each and every kind of the position. Shh, kuja. So they're gonna be distracting people not to pass. Exactly. So guys, keep it tuned, keep it locked. Coming back in another module, as we're gonna be making it happen. The banana plantation, it's gonna be coming very soon, as we are kicking off to understand the banana section. It's about to be launched, as we're gonna be making sure that we're gonna be analyzing and understanding what we're going to be popping out from this banana plantation, east, west, and south, because we are coming for it. Right now, it's very sunny. Much of the stuffs like skuma kales and everything, they're just drying up because the sun is shining. It has not rained for now 2 weeks, approaching 3 weeks. And because we are still having the greens here, they are surviving. They are just waiting for the rain to come so as you can just move forward at this kind of the pathway. So guys, thank you very much for you watching this kind of the video and coming to the conclusion of understanding that we have to talk, retalk, preach, preach, so as you can just get the information back to the center, as we're going to be supporting and making it happen. Let's rhyme, let's make it happen. Wagwan.